It all started with a song, or perhaps I should say it ended with a song. The song was called "Why Does the Willow Weep?" If you want to hear me sing the song, there will be an unlisted link in the description of this video for you to listen to it. I would suggest you do so, as the lyrics are very lovely. I had purchased a book of songs, and this one was included. The first time I played through it and sang it, I identified with it immediately and quite strongly. The song was full of imagery, mysterious and alluring. It tugged at me and almost haunted me, but I couldn't necessarily say why it did. A few months after discovering the song, I lost my mother in a family tragedy. I wrote the following 2 months after she died. I had finally made sense of the song, and I had proved my lifetime affinity for the weeping willow tree. One of my favorite trees, the weeping willow. There was one in our backyard of the first house I lived in, a beautiful mature tree on the border of our yard and the next door neighbor's yard. My father decided it could not be there anymore, and so he eradicated that beautiful tree. I have a picture of me and my brother standing amongst the destruction. I was 10 years old and couldn't understand why it had to go. I wept for the willow. When we moved several years later to another home, I was delighted to see a willow live there too in the front yard. A large willow, beautiful and mature, with its branches reaching to the sky. Sometimes during the struggles of my life, I sat under the willow as we silently exchanged secrets. The tree understood me. The willow and I have much in common. This time, the willow wept with me. I've been thinking about the willow much here lately, and the correlations between this song and my life. I lost my mother, and not only did I lose my mother, I lost her through a terrible tragedy, something I would hope no one would ever have the heart-rending misfortune to experience. My father took her from us, in the same way he took that willow tree, and because of that, I lost my father as well. Years of sorrow, years of hard times, culminating in a desperate and distressing ending. This is one thing I've learned in my grief. Sometimes people are harboring sorrows which cannot be seen or sometimes even shared. Perhaps these sorrows are temporary. Perhaps they stretch over a period of many years. Who knows what truly is happening in other people's lives? Who knows what is sometimes hidden behind the smiles, beneath the bark? Grief is a strange thing. It holds you so tightly in its grip until you sincerely believe you cannot breathe any longer. But then there is the brief moment in time when grief creeps away, when everything feels somewhat normal again, when, for just a split second, grief is forgotten. You let down your guard, only to have grief sneak up on you again, and the suffocation begins anew. This is life when you are living in grief. You want to step back into the land of the living, but you don't know how. You don't know what normal is. You don't know why. You can't understand. You can't move on. Sometimes it is difficult to even want to move on, because to do so, you must let go. Life is an interweaving of knowing when to let go and when to hold on. This hard decision-making will chase us throughout our lifetime, through loss and love and new experiences. Do we know when to let go and when to hold on? How do we view our lives when memories made and unmade are tainted by someone's destructive and evil actions? Grief becomes a new way of living, but it hurts, it's painful, and it's frightening. But yet you must dwell there for a while, explore its depths if you are to start living again. And not just live again, but live in such a way that has found you changed, a new person, one who understands grief in a powerful way and who can use that understanding for good. But this is tough envisioning, to imagine the good in heart-wrenching times. When we have spent a season in grief, we should emerge with newfound knowledge which can only be captured through experience. And when knowledge and experience are joined together, a beautiful thing called wisdom is born. And this wisdom encourages us, propels us to show real empathy towards those who experience grief, because we can understand in a way we never were able to before. And so we start to ask, how can we help those people? How can we love them through long periods of grief? At the end of the song, the willow is admonished to open her eyes, to see the beauty all around her. If she did, she would be able to hear nature's music, observe the changing of the seasons and the memorable smell of the scent of roses and the flowers surrounding her, and to not just passively contemplate those things, but to embrace them and add her voice to the chorus. And the song ends by asking the question yet once again, why does the willow weep? I believe she wept because she couldn't do it alone. She needed someone to help her through her sorrow, to give her the ability to see the beauty in life and to live again. I have wept, and I have struggled in the darkness, but thanks to those who love me, I am slowly recovering and healing from my grief, emerging from the shadows back into the light.